Welcome to Dixie Sun News at noon. I'm Stephanie Dupar. This is our special election edition. Voting for this year's student government candidates began today at 8 a.m. and will continue until Thursday at 3 p.m. To vote, all students need to do is log into their Canvas and go to the dashboard. A large Vote Now banner will appear on the top left portion of the screen, where students will be redirected to another page to cast their vote. However, it looks like it's easier to vote than find information about student election policies. Several attempts by Dixie Sun staff members failed to yield results due to the unclear nature of accessibility guidelines for student elections. They're available upon request, but not easily accessible for students. The only information online is found in a policy library, which states that students are allowed to run for office, but nothing further. The Dixie State University Student Association will be hosting this year's student body election. The three positions include student body president, vice president, and vice president of clubs and organizations. There are 3 candidates for student body president, 2 for VP of academics, and only 1 unopposed candidate for VP of clubs and organizations. Athletics have their side in politics as well. Samantha Kidd is this year's VP of Athletics. Her job includes being the go-between with student alumni, athletes, and clubs on campus to ensure athletic involvement campus-wide. Another athletic DSUSA position is the Athletic Promotions Coordinator, and the current position is filled by Tanner Holian. He promotes athletic events and encourages student involvement. I was able to speak with the student body president candidates to get to know a little bit more about them. Welcome back. I'm here with the DSU student government presidential candidates. So we're going to start off with just a little bit of tell me about yourself. We're going to start off with Taylor.
Okay, so my name is Taylor Godfrey, and I am from Buckeye, Arizona. I'm a population health major, and I am on the softball team here at the university, as well as the president of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee.
Very nice. Thank you. Dane?
So my name is Dane Campbell. I am from Prescott, Arizona. I've been here at Dixie for 2.5 years now. I've been an ambassador, which has been an absolute joy. I love it. Basically, a little bit about me is I just love the outdoors. That's kind of what I do, sports, any kind of that activity. That's who I am.
Thank you. Brett?
Awesome. I'm Brett. I'm from Midway, Utah, so I'm a Utah boy, and this is my 2nd year here at Dixie State. I actually transferred from Snow College after I graduated from there, and I have loved being at Dixie State. I love to be involved. I'm on student government right now, and I'm also on Raging Red and get to go and tour and talk about what it means to be a trailblazer, so I love that.
Great. It sounds like we have a really involved bunch here. So starting again with Taylor, why did you decide to run for student government?
When I first decided to run, it was just because I loved Dixie. I didn't necessarily have a platform or anything that I wanted to accomplish, but as I've gone through this experience, I've understood that there are things that I would like to see changed, but not only that, but things that we do well, better. So,
thank you. Dane?
I think the main reason why I decided to run was just because Dixie has done so much for me since I've been here. This is actually my 4th university that I've gone to, and so being a part of all the other ones and seeing how they function, I feel like I'm just in a really good spot to where I can make a difference. And since Dixie has made a difference in my life, I also want to make a difference in Dixie's life, I guess you could say.
Thank you. Brett?
I chose to run because I recognize that I have the skill set that will help us to move to D1, that will really help our students to know what that means to own their education, to be involved and to make a difference. I know that I have that skill set that can really help students to have a good experience being involved in the campus and to help the Student Association to continue to run and to work on some of the objectives that the current Student Association, student government is working on, and to help further those so that we're ready when that switch over happens.
That's really good to hear. So you guys have talked a little about your qualifications, but let's just go a little bit further in depth. So what would you say that your qualifications for office are?
Not only that I am president of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, because that is something I want to address in my platform, but being able to just advocate for individuals. I've been involved in student government all throughout my education career, but also not only that, but being on the softball team and learning those qualities about leadership, teamwork, repping your school with pride, all of those things that I think is going to be able to transition us into that D1, but also into just a more inclusive campus.
Thank you, Taylor. Dane?
So I would say my qualifications come from just being involved. Throughout my Dixie experience, I have been extremely involved with campus, with the activities, with that kind of stuff. I was able to start my own club here on campus. I actually did that my first semester here. It's the Spike Ball Club, so give a little shout out for them. Super fun. I've also been an ambassador for 2.5 years, and I absolutely love that. Going and giving campus tours, going to high schools, and just selling Dixie is what I kind of do. And I think that's kind of where we're at with Dixie, is we need to get as many people here as possible, because we are building all these wonderful things, and we just need people to now fill it. And so being an ambassador for 2 years, starting my own club, being involved, and then also the fact that I've been to so many universities really gives me, I think, a good qualifying view of where we need to go.
Hey, thank you, Dane. So Brett?
I think one of the biggest things for me, like why I know I'm qualified, is I've been able to experience some of the day-to-day work of what it's like to be in student government. I've definitely seen what it's like to be a student body president, and I recognize that it's not just a face, it's not just a figure, but it's truly a position that needs to make a difference, that needs to know how to stand at the table to make a difference. The student body president sits as a board of trustee member, and if you don't understand what policies the university is working on, if you don't understand what events are happening, if you don't understand what clubs there are, what different organizations are on campus, you don't know how to make those connections. And I know I have those connections, whether that's with the MIC, the Student Alumni Association, athletes, those different connections that make a difference. Because it's not just about being involved, it's about knowing how to get others involved and knowing how to help those people and represent them. And I think that's something that I really bring to the table, is I'm a really good representative and a good voice for students. And I think that's one of the biggest qualities that is needed in a student body president.
Thank you, Brett. So we've talked about kind of who you are, why you're running. So what is your platform that you're running on? Taylor?
So my biggest focus is being able to advocate for the students and the athletes, because I am both. And not only that, but to create a more inclusive environment through service, spirit, and safety on campus. But with that spirit, I just want to embody the love that I have for Dixie and why I began running into what we kind of do every day, because that's one of the main things that I loved about coming here on campus, is just how friendly it was. And like, not that we've stopped becoming friendly, but it's more easy to support other students, whether it's at the events, athlete events, or at Wednesday events. You know, it's easier when you have friends, and it makes it more fun. And I think that's my biggest focus, is being able to create a more inclusive environment through those three aspects.
Thank you, Taylor. So Dane, what's your platform?
So my platform is, I really think that there are some minor campus changes that can be done that will make Dixie more of an atmosphere of people wanting to come and stay. I've noticed since I've been here that people don't really hang out around campus. We have the volleyball courts, which is great, and that's a great college hangout spot, and then Campus Views is a great spot to hang out. But other than that, there's not really anything going on campus. It's honestly pretty dark. And so with this new Human Performance Center being built, we're gonna have a new focus area right by that fountain. And I really think I have the expertise and the landscaping skills and the, I guess, activity, fun-centered mindset where I can turn that area into something that is really, really fun for people to come and stay. And so if we can get people to stay on campus, I think that will also pull more people into our games and have more athletic support that way. And so I think if we can just make campus more of a fun social activity place to come and stay, then people will stay, they will come to the activities, retention would be better, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of my platform. I just want to amp up campus and make it a place where people come and socialize and stay.
Thank you, Dane. So Brett, what is your platform?
My platform comes with 3 things. So I'm focusing on action, inclusiveness, and driven. So focusing on action for our Trailblazers to really take an active role in their education. Our Trailblazers need to know that being an educated person is not just about going through classes and having your counselor tell you what classes to take, but really taking charge, being in the clubs that are right for you, being in the right organizations, getting the right mentors. So taking an active role in your education to be an active learner and to really live our school's slogan of active learning, active life. Inclusive is to really not just to include others, but to include yourself. Find out what it is about you that's unique and own that, share that. If you can't share who you are and be true to who you you can't include others. So include yourself, bring yourself to the table, and be inclusive for the campus to bring us unity. That's what I want to see with inclusiveness. And then driven. I want to drive success for our trailblazers to find what trail is right for them, to have the right opportunities and the right doors open so that they can experience what success means, and that they can feel that they've blazed a trail that's going to lead them to trajectory throughout their life, not just as a student, but throughout life in general.
That's really good to hear. So lastly, this is your last thing to say. Is there anything that I haven't asked that you guys would like students to know about you, about your platform, about your campaign? So Taylor?
My biggest thing that I want people to know is that there are things that I would like to accomplish on campus, like making events more fun, or safety, or just the Dixie spirit in general. But it's like I can't enforce that. I can embody it, I feel like I do, but it's all to the students and being able to support each other, and really about just making Dixie great is that it is so fun. And I think that is my biggest thing, is that it's up to us as the students to make Dixie what we want it to be.
Okay, thank you. Dane?
I think the last thing I want everyone to know is just this is an exciting time to be a trailblazer. We are making waves in our education programs, in the new buildings being built, with the engineering, science, tech building being built. Like, we are building and we are growing so fast. And being an ambassador, I get to see that every day, and I get to give tours of campus. And these freshmen coming in are so excited to be a part of Dixie. And so, since we already are here, I just want to bring everyone that spirit and that tradition of being a trailblazer and what that truly means. And so, I mean, this is the time. We are in it. And I think I can bring that energy to the table.
Great, thank you. Brett?
I think first off would just be that I want people to know that the organizations that are on campus, whether that's student alumni, the Dixie Sun, the student athletes, I want to make sure that they know that I'm going to listen to them, that I'm going to bring their voice to the table, because I recognize that it's about representing students, and all students, not just student body, not just the student government. It's all about everyone. I want them to know that I will have an open door policy where students can truly come and fill a space where they can feel connected, that I will be someone who will listen and try to do the best I can to help their concerns be heard. Because there are concerns. There's times that it's tough in college, but there's also times to have a ton of fun, and I hope that we can provide that environment this next year, where we have a ton of fun at athletic events, we have a ton of fun at the Wednesdays, we have a ton of fun at the multicultural inclusion events, we have fun in theater, all of those different things that our campus has to offer, and especially that we have fun with our new building, the HPC, and just getting to see that be a great student rec center.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for coming on the show, letting our viewers come and get to know you. We really look forward to seeing your journey and how it all comes out in the end. We will be back right after the break. That's it for this week's special election edition of the Dixie Sun News at noon. We will see you next week, same time, same place, and have a great week, Trailblazers.